Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk about the strategy of using hashtags. And in this video I will show you exact strategy which you should follow in order to have the maximum exposure from that. So the hashtags are giving us opportunity to be seen in a certain keywords. And for example, if you're in certain niche, that will really push your content, so more and more audience are gonna see it. And it's very important to use them related to your account and related to your niche as well. So for example, we can use up to 30 hashtags. And I suggest to use around 28, 25, because if you're gonna use all the time 30, sometimes Instagram might give you an error. So just use 28 of them. Make sure when you're using these hashtags, you place them as a first comment. This is important because a lot of times what I've seen when working with clients, they're putting them in the caption and it becomes like, really long caption, and then they also put those dots. In the end, it's gonna still look not very optimized. So when you're putting them as a first comment, that way your audience are gonna see your caption without any hashtags. So if you're writing a longer captions, which I highly suggest, that way they will concentrate on that. And then when they go to the comments section, they will see your hashtags list, but it's no one is pretty much really paying attention to that. So it's perfectly to use. And when you're researching the hashtags, I'm going to show you in a few seconds how you'll do the proper research, but just keep in mind that we can break this into basically two sections. The first section of, let's say, 20 hashtags could be related to your niche. So let's say you're in travel niche. So you're going to go ahead and use travel related hashtags. And then the other part of hashtags, you can actually concentrate on the city you're trying to target or cities. So let's say if it's like New York, Miami, Chicago, LA, right? You can focus on those cities. And I'm going to show you as well example how you can properly do that. That way, when you combine those two sections, you have a perfect list of researched hashtags towards your niche and also the location you're trying to target. So your posts are going to get more exposure within the niche and also within the target audience you're trying to target. So now let's get to my laptop and I'll show you how you can do this research properly. Alright, so here's my account as you can see. And let's say, like I gave an example, we're gonna use travel, right? So very first thing to keep in mind. If I'm taking travel, first it has over 400 million posts, right? So that's not a good sign for us. So try to avoid hashtags like that. Try to avoid, using hashtags with millions of posts, especially if you're just, starting out or your account is still, I'll say, relatively new. Even though if it's already big, you will still find more opportunities and more growth from research hashtags rather than the million posts. So we're gonna actually take a look at the hashtags which has less than 1 million posts. And as you can see, there is not many of them, right? So what I will do right now, there are some of them here, but what I'll do right now, I'll, for example, add any letter, let's say H, and I have more options. So for example, travel happy, travel hacks, travelholic, although that has 8 million posts. You have travel hacking, you have travel hack, right? So let's try and put, for example, another character. Let's say D. So we have travel daily, that's good. Travel diary has over 5 million, that's not good for us. Travel Dubai, so if you're in Dubai or trying to target people, that's probably good to use. Travel deal, so you have all these options, right? And you can just use them. So for example, I'm gonna open each hashtag that I feel is good, I'm gonna open as a new tab. And in the end, for example, let's say I have just 4 tabs here. 3 considering the hashtags we're going to use. So I'm just going to copy that and then go to my notes and paste the hashtag. Then I'm going to go again to another tab, copy the hashtag and then paste it there. So that way I can create my list in the notes. And when I'm done researching my niche hashtags, I'm going to go jump into the city related. So let's say I want to target people who are in New York. So I'm going to go and type New York. And you can see, for example, New York City, 25 million posts. That's a lot. Although you can still use it because it has basically focus on New York. So let's say we're gonna use New York City, but then we're gonna of course go and use the low ones. For example, New York trip, New York gram, New York travel. Those ones are pretty good. Keep in mind, you can always add like characters, you know, like any characters on your keyboard, and you're gonna have more and more options. So let's say, okay, New York City, I'm just gonna use it because it's kind of relevant to the location, so we can still be featured there. But then I'm gonna use all the research ones. So we have New York trip, that's a good one. We have New York gram, that's a good one, another one. So this is the goal. In the end, you have the perfect list, which you can just copy and paste towards your first comment when you're, you know, making a post on Instagram. And what I also suggest to you is to create basically a second and a third list. So you have 3 lists of hashtags. Each list has 28 hashtags. That way you can alternate the lists. So you're not using only the same ones, but you're actually alternating the list. That will give you the maximum efficiency on your posts. All right, so keep in mind about those, you know, tips and strategies. So once again, 28 hashtags, that's perfect to use. Make sure you do your own research and find those hashtags just through Instagram, you know, just going manually like this. This is the best way. And that way you can create several lists, not only one list of 28, but you can have 3 lists of 28, and you can alternate. Let's say you use one list on your 4 posts, then you switch, and on another 4 posts you use another list, and you can alternate that way. So you can always kind of like play around and get more featured in certain hashtags. So guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Let me know if you have any questions, and hope to see you in the next video.